Years have passed, and Salvor Hardin has solidified his control over Terminus. The once powerful encyclopedists have been reduced to figureheads, while Hardin rules as the elected mayor. His political acumen has kept the aggressive neighboring kingdoms at bay, but Anacreon grows bolder. Hardin knows that his strategy of psychological manipulation and religious influence must now be put to the test. As the political situation escalates, he maneuvers carefully, ensuring that the Foundation's future is not determined by brute force, but by control over belief and perception. Anacreon, now under the rule of the ambitious Prince Regent Wienis, demands that Terminus recognize its sovereignty. The Anacreonian military has been rebuilding using remnants of old Galactic Empire technology, and Wienis sees Terminus as an easy conquest. He prepares for war, believing that the Foundation, lacking a military, cannot resist. Hardin, aware of Wienis's intentions, remains calm. He has spent years embedding the idea that Foundation technology is divine power, ensuring that the people of Anacreon rely on it completely. He knows that the true battle will not be fought with weapons, but with control over belief. Hardin has spent years cultivating the idea that the Foundation's scientific knowledge is a form of divine power. Through the missionaries he has sent to Anacreon and other kingdoms, technology has become intertwined with religious belief. The Foundation's priests oversee the operation of atomic energy and other remnants of the old empire's technology. Hardin sees this as his true weapon, controlling faith rather than brute force. His advisors worry about Anacreon's military aggression, but he reassures them that the enemy is already under his control in ways they do not yet understand. Prince Regent Wienis is preparing to crown his nephew, Leopold, as the king of Anacreon. The coronation is more than just a ceremony. It is a statement of power. Wienis, the true ruler, intends to use the occasion to announce an attack on Terminus. He has already stationed a fleet within striking distance. Hardin, invited as a guest, understands that this is a trap. However, he accepts, seeing an opportunity to turn the tide in his favor. The game of politics and psychology is about to reach its climax. Inside the grand palace of Anacreon, Prince Regent Wienis revels in his anticipated victory. His closest military advisors gather around him, reviewing plans for the invasion of Terminus. Wienis boasts about how easily he will bring the Foundation under his control, unaware that Hardin has already laid his own trap. Meanwhile, Hardin, under house arrest in the palace, remains unbothered. His faith in the influence of the Foundation's religious order is unwavering. The high priests within Anacreon's ranks have been waiting for this very moment, ensuring that the kingdom is far more dependent on the Foundation than its leaders realize. As the grand coronation of King Leopold begins, Anacreon's nobility gathers in the palace's great hall. Wienis stands triumphantly at the throne's side, preparing to solidify his grip on power. But just as he announces Anacreon's dominance over Terminus, chaos erupts. The Foundation's high priests, once thought to be harmless servants of faith, declare Wienis and his allies heretics. The crowd, deeply devoted to the religious teachings that the Foundation has instilled over the years, hesitates in confusion and fear. Soldiers waver, their discipline broken, as the carefully planned coup begins to unravel before Wienis's eyes. Wienis's carefully laid military plans begin to collapse. Anacreon's fleet, positioned to strike against Terminus, suddenly finds itself powerless. The Foundation's technicians, disguised as priests, have infiltrated the fleet and disabled its atomic-powered weaponry. Soldiers, already shaken by the priest's declaration, panic as their weapons fail. The fear of divine retribution grips them, and what was once an organized military machine dissolves into confusion. Hardin, still in captivity within the palace, listens as the news spreads through the corridors. He smiles, knowing that the true power of the Foundation has never been its weapons, but its ability to shape perception. Desperate and enraged, Wienis orders the immediate execution of Salvor Hardin, believing it to be his last chance at salvaging control. However, just as the guards step forward, an emergency broadcast from the High Priest of Anacreon interrupts them. The priest, speaking with divine authority, denounces Wienis as a traitor to the galactic spirit. The gathered nobles and officers, deeply ingrained in the religious teachings of the Foundation, hesitate. Some openly refuse Wienis's orders, while others kneel in reverence to the High Priest's decree. Hardin watches calmly, knowing that the final step in Wienis's downfall is about to take place. Cornered and betrayed, Wienis flees to his private chambers as the palace erupts in turmoil. His orders are ignored, his soldiers refuse to act, and his carefully built scheme crumbles before him. The streets of Anacreon descend into chaos as riots break out. The high priests, now fully in control of the populace, declare Wienis an enemy of the divine order. In desperation, Wienis contemplates one final, reckless act of defiance. But he realizes it is too late. With no escape and no power left, he takes his own life, choosing death over the humiliation of total defeat. With Wienis gone and the Anacreon military paralyzed, Hardin walks free from the palace. The new King Leopold, still young and impressionable, is now entirely under the influence of the Foundation's religious order. The Anacreon nobility, sensing the shift in power, kneels before him, knowing that opposition is futile. The Foundation has secured control of Anacreon without ever engaging in open war. As Hardin steps onto the palace balcony, he sees a kingdom no longer ruled by military might, but by technological dependency and carefully cultivated faith. Anacreon transforms overnight. The nobility, once allies of Wienis, now pledge loyalty to the Foundation's doctrine. The Anacreon people embrace the belief that their technology is a divine gift, one that can only be maintained through obedience to the Foundation. Hardin, watching from Terminus, understands that this victory is just the beginning. Other kingdoms on the periphery will soon recognize the power of the Foundation's influence. He begins planning for future challenges, knowing that faith, not war, will ensure the Foundation's dominance across the galaxy. As Hardin reflects on recent events, the time capsule of Hari Seldon is set to open once again. The Foundation's ruling council gathers to witness the next stage of the Seldon plan. When Seldon's recorded hologram appears, he confirms what Hardin already knew. Anacreon was never meant to be a true military threat. The crisis was always one of perception and control. The Foundation's strength lies in its ability to shape ideology, not in fleets or weapons. Hardin, satisfied that the plan is unfolding as intended, prepares for the challenges to come, knowing that the game of influence is only beginning.